Thank you very much for your presentation about the very specific problems and challenges of a SME, a really tech SME in Ireland, or in Europe at least. Tell me, you said that your company really has to focus on the ongoing business, which is really short-time driven. You have very short product life cycles. So how do you manage it to think more strategically, especially when we look at the life cycles of IP, which takes a long time? How do you manage this time gap between the management of short-time driven business on the one hand, and on the other hand, the life cycle of IP?
Sure, so it's a good question, and it's a real SME question. I suppose personally, I always try to make sure that I'm doing the short-term urgent tasks, but in my own personal time management, that I'm also putting enough time aside for the longer-term things. So, for example, even coming to a talk like this and having to prepare makes you start thinking and gives you the right to reserve some time for the longer-term items, right? We've also managed, I suppose, strategically in our company. You can't live forever. It's like being on a real fast treadmill forever, trying to do every quarter, right? So part of what we've tried to do, and our CEO has been very big in this one too, is trying to get the company to the point where we're not just dependent on next quarter's revenue, we're dependent on revenues further and further out. So we have always had a portfolio of businesses, and we entered markets like the healthcare sector because it's a longer term market and things last longer. And in the semiconductor business, we've moved more from licensing IP into actually delivering chips. And when you start delivering silicon chips, ASICs to people, those deliveries, and we picked markets like industrial. So industrial customers will buy chips from you for 5 to 10 year periods. So we have been trying to manage the portfolio in the company and manage the businesses and change them enough that there's more of a long-term aspect to those businesses, and then that gives it moves everyone towards thinking more long-term. So it's been a conscious thing, but you can only do that when you get a bit larger and you have sufficient amount of money coming through. So when your startup is very hard, to. You can have an ultimate goal as a startup, but you're all the time watching where's the money coming from.
Yeah, I got you.
So I guess it's probably managing personal time and the company moving to more of a strategic view as it's grown and it's got larger and so on.